Hey, what's going on everyone? Shiva Sapkota here with another Tesla accessory. Today's accessory is really cool. We have been asking for this seat ventilation system for Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, and we have it here with a super easy installation. It comes with a button control. It also has a sensor. So you just sit here and the air starts flowing. You get out, the air stops flowing. So it has an awesome fans. There are a total of 10 fans all around this seat ventilation system. This is just a cover that you put it on top of your existing seat. So 10-minute installation and you get a lot of benefits. So we got both sides, so the passenger side as well as the driver side, exactly the same. So I'm just going to show you here just this one side. Identical unit. They also send you a DC adapter. This plugs into your cigarette lighter port. It comes with a 2 output, so you can plug in both sides. You can just get one side if you just wanted that one side. This also comes with a 2 USB-A output here, so you can use that for other purposes. They also send you a fuse with the instructions manual. And just looking at the unit itself, this is made out of high fiber Napa leather, so a high quality material that I can personally vouch for. This looks really great. This is very comparable to some of the other seat covers that we have installed in the channel. And the main part of this whole thing lies right here in this center piece, and this comes as one piece, the bottom and the top. I like that rather than trying to fit the top one and having a giant gap in the bottom here. It comes as a one whole piece for both the top and the bottom. So this mesh right here is a very nicely engineered mesh, and this is a pretty common thing on a seat ventilation system that we have seen with other car manufacturers, where there is this mesh that is a breathable mesh here, and it is designed to keep you cool on hot summer days. What they did here is, rather than us needing to take out the entire seat and put a fan somewhere inside, they actually integrated fans right here. There is 4 fans on the top here, there are 4 here, and then there are 2 here. But if we flip this over, this is where you see the actual engineering behind it. And right here, as you can see, there is this material in the back that is covering all the fans. This is the DC input here, and you've got all kinds of cables just flowing through here, because all of these fans are connected to one single circuit that is then going into the DC, and there is the button right here. But if we remove this, there's just a Velcro covering here, you'll be able to see the fans inside. So there are those 4 fans right here for the top unit, and as you can see, those fans are, the output of those fans are facing straight up. And when you look at it here, they have got this mesh technology where it is supposed to help you regulate the airflow, and it's supposed to keep you cool, right? Like, that's the whole idea. And it have got this mesh here. We're gonna give it a try. This face inward, so you shouldn't feel anything outside while you're sitting down. But this fans, I'm not too sure. We'll see if we could feel the fan and if it's uncomfortable or not. I'll let you know after I review it. But this is what the interior portion looks like. There are 2 fans here that are facing down, but I can't show you because there is no Velcro there. I would have to rip out the back, and I would like to not do that on a brand new thing here. But if we open this, same idea. There is a bunch of fans here, and then there's some regulators and the cable kind of going in, and then that mesh here again, the heat dissipation, airflow regulation mesh, and it should really help you keep your body cool while you're sitting down. And this is handy right now because a lot of the part of the country and the world, we're going through heat waves, and this is absolutely a fantastic product. Other than that, it follows a basic principle of a seat cover. So this goes on that middle portion between the top and the bottom. I'll show you how to install that. This is the bottom portion, so this goes underneath the seat, and then this one in the top, we are going to be just pushing it down through the seat like how we would be dressing a mannequin, and that's it. So I know I said that both of these units were identical, but there is one thing that you have to keep in mind is there is this DC input side. So this is the DC input side, and you want to make sure that this cable is pretty short, so you want to make sure that it is facing that way. You can still do it if you already install it. That's fine, because you can still bring it the DC input cable from there is long enough that you can install this. But if you want a cleaner install, just put this on that side and then put the passenger one facing this way towards the cigarette lighter port here, because we need to reach that central console. But in our case, because this is a shorter cable, we're gonna leave it right here, and then we can just go ahead and install it like this. Just to make the installation slightly easier, I would recommend you plug this in before you install the seat, so that you don't have to try to find this in a tedious space later down the road. So plug in your DC adapter before you even begin the installation. So the first step on this installation process is you're going to put this in through the headrest here, like you're sliding something in through the top hole. And this has elastic band in it, so it should go in pretty easily. You just have to apply some force and it should just slide into its place here. And then just the back, we're gonna show you how to install the back here in just a second. Another thing is, after you have slid this through a little bit, you can also go on the back side here and try to pull it down as well. So this is supposed to be a super good fit, so it might take you some force to get this done, but you can also go on the back and then just pull this down. You could also lift this headrest up just a little bit and then put this in, then slide this down so that it would be a bit easier to install. Just be careful not to lift this too high over here and then try to move the seat, because you could crack this glass over here. I have heard that happen in the past, so be careful with that. But as long as you put this down, you should be okay. Then once you have a little bit of edge here where you have inserted all of this underneath this headrest, then you can just go ahead and stretch this down a little bit. Let's see it from the back here, so I can show you what this looks like. So as you can see, there is still some edges here, and all you have to do is just slide this inside and hide it down there. And at the same time, we got to stretch it and make sure that this is tight. The seat cover installation is pretty similar, where you got to just stretch it. That is the tedious part, is making sure that this looks like a perfect fit where all the edges are inside. So as you can see now, done a good job. Now we gotta insert this inside. Let me show you that next. Now once you are in this step, you're just going to lift this slightly, and our goal is here is to lift this up a little bit and then pry this part out. So let me show you what that looks like here. So just pry this part out all throughout and then put this inside so that it looks like a good fit here, and do that all around, and then this fits. This is the exact same procedure we use to install seat covers. Right here, you slide it in, and as you can see, it is starting to take its form where it looks like it belongs in the seat here. Just have to do some stretching to make this a good fit, but that's the general idea. So you want to go all around here in the bottom on both sides on installing this so that it looks like a good fit. Again, looks good aesthetically. Now after you have stretched this from the back and everything fits, we still need to stretch this a little bit more so that this looks a little bit better here. Then we're gonna look down here, and the next step involves, there's this wheel, a plastic wheel, that we gotta insert through this gap right here. So the gap that you see here, and how this works is you're going to push this in through that gap, and then it sits like this so that it doesn't come out from the gap, but it holds the cover in place really tightly. So you just wanna slide this through that, and then it just installs down there. Sorry, this is a little bit hard with recording with my one hand, but the idea is just you insert this and then it slides into its place. There is an elastic here, so it can stretch, and then it just holds it. So essentially in the back is doing this. So it doesn't just slide out like that, but it's wedged in here, so it just doesn't go through. It holds the whole seat cover in place. So that is the whole idea behind this. Just slide it and then make it hold. So let me show you what that looks like after both of this are in place. As you can see, they are fully wedged in there, and what that does is it prevents this seat from coming out, the cover from coming out, and it secures this and makes it more tight so that it fits better. The seat is gonna be a little loose, of course. It's not gonna be a perfect fit like the other seat. We still have to do some stretching here, but this looks pretty good so far. Tuck this inside this bracket here. Just pull this slightly and then tuck this in. There's plenty of space here. You might have to push this a little bit harder and then find a place to tuck this in here. It might be a little bit harder on this side because there's a plastic bracket there, but it's just a work in progress here. Just slide this and do that on this side as well so that you can fully stretch this portion. And I'll show you what this looks like here in just a second. Now in this next step, you are going to grab these hooks with the elastic bands and stretch them underneath the seat and hook them into any of the metal piece that you find underneath the seat. There are plenty of areas where even Tesla has hooked their seat into them, so you'll find a lot of spaces underneath where you can hook this into. So let me show you where I ended up putting the hook. So as you can see, it is a metal piece there. You can also go all the way through where Tesla is using those same pieces, the metal pieces to hook it. So this one is the right side, and we go and put that in there. Now in our final step, we are going to take this cigarette lighter plug and then just plug it in right here. And the fan actually started, so let me turn it off for now. We're gonna go over each of the settings here. This cable is just going to hang out somewhere here and probably put this all the way to the back so you can somewhat hide it, and you can still close this armrest, but I wish they made a slightly better design. You're kind of squeezing on this cable here. If you really want, you can remove this panel and try to go through inside, but this works. So here's what the front looks like. As you can see, it's not a perfect fit. Maybe could have done a little bit more work, try to make this more stretch, but generally this is good enough for me. But if you have an OCD, you might want to clean up some of these edges here. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be exactly like a OEM seat. This is a seat cover, so it's going to have some loose portions to it, but it's actually pretty decent. It's not that bad. Here is what the back portion looks like here. As I said, there is going to be some edges and things that you can try to stretch it out, but good enough for me. This is what the seat cover one looks like, and that's the Tesla's OEM, of course. But this is all done. We can go ahead and start testing it. Just a feedback for TL Yard is probably they should add one of those stretchy thing on this side and that side and put the hooks in the middle so that this side can tighten that side as well. It's exactly like how we did it here. Having those stretchy thing would help on both sides to make it tighter, because there is some areas that are not a perfect fit here. So how this works is it has a automatic setting versus a manual setting, and it actually has some sort of a butt sensor, because if I turn the automatic setting on, and I'll go over all of those settings here, but as soon as I put my hand here, as you see the air start coming, and then I leave and then it stops. So this is a pretty nice sensor that it actually works really well. This is one of the best ones that I have seen. Wow, that's awesome. So that is that sensor there. So as soon as you sit on your seat, regardless of if the car was powered off or whatever, when you come in and sit here, it can automatically turn on. And you leave, it's gone. And this is that setting. So automatic turn on is where there is gonna be a blue light here. So that is what turns it on. If you wanna manually do it, you just turn it on like that, and this is your fan setting. So let's just start with the lowest fan setting here. That's the lowest one. This is your medium, and this is your high fan setting here. Turn it off, and the automatic is still on, so we can still do this, and it turns off. So I have set this in automatic mode. Let's do some testing. It should recognize that airflow right away when I sit down. So let me sit down here, and I could hear the airflow coming. So the automatic mode works. I could already feel the cool air. Wow, that was very, very quick. This is awesome. I could really feel the air going through my shirt in the back, and it is keeping me really cool. I don't feel it as much on the top. Unless I do this, then I feel the breathable air there. It kind of blocks it when I'm leaning back. But here, this is awesome. I see it right here. I feel it. Wow, this is really, really, really fast. Oh, this is a game changer. My road trips are gonna be so much better now in the heat. And for those of you who live in a heat wave areas where temperatures are reaching 104, I believe in Texas, that's just the other day. So this is really, really nice for you all. Today it is 78 here, and this is awesome. I can't let you feel how I'm feeling here, but hopefully with my excitement you can see how good this feels. Wow, this is genius. I mean, we needed the ventilation system, and there are other systems out there where you got to remove this entire seat and then install the ventilation. I didn't want it to go through all of that because you also make a hole, you cut through stuff. I didn't want none of that, but this, super easy. What, 10-minute install and you get the benefit. And if I lift up, the air intensity grows and I could feel all that air here. Wow, this is awesome. And I also feel it here in the front because of all those fans that are blowing through. Wow, this is awesome. In the winter, you could just easily remove this and then use the seat heater if needed. I think the heat will pass through a little bit, but that's gonna be a little bit difficult. So in the winter, I would probably just take this out, but for whole summer, this is amazing. I mean, this is going to make my road trip so much better. My cabin temperature turns on a lot because I park this on a heat a lot of times, especially going to groceries or going to people's houses where I can't put it in a garage. And now when I come in, the seats are really hot. And now this is going to solve that problem very, very quickly. Now the seat feels like I have some kind of an AC just blowing through the seat and keeping me cool. This stuff works. This stuff really, really works. If you're leaning back like me, you might not feel it as much on the top, but definitely on the bottom here, from the whole bottom as well as some part of the back, really you can feel it. And if you do that, you feel it in the back too. One thing I was genuinely worried about is because there are fans here, one on the top here, in the middle here, and then the back here, I was worried that is it going to be uncomfortable sitting on top of those fans. And I drove around for quite some time this morning after installing these seats, and I did not feel it as bad as I thought I would. I noticed it. I know it is there, so I noticed it, but it's not that bad. And if you're driving for hours and hours without getting out, maybe you'll feel a little sore because you're sitting on a hard surface. So it's not going to be a super soft, squeezy material here because there is fans, and you can even feel it from the top here that there are fans, but it is not that bad. You will notice it, but it is not that uncomfortable. So just keep that in mind. I wanted to be very, very clear that those fans are there and you are going to notice it. You're going to feel it a little bit. But for me, the benefit outweighs any of that. I love this product. It's super helpful, so I can live with that. When I'm done driving, I can just step out of the vehicle and it should recognize it, but that's the caveat. It might take you a second because you have kind of pushed this down all the way that it's not that sensitive when it is pushed down. But again, works really great, but when you have been sitting down for an extended period of time, it might take a little bit for this to expand up because you are no longer there to turn it off, but you can also manually turn this off. All right, let's bring this thing to an end. Super awesome product. I'm really excited. Only time will tell how this lasts over time, and I'll definitely make a follow-up video if you have any questions about the product or if I feel it differently after using it for quite some time. But so far, this is amazing. I really like it. Some of the feedback for TLER, perhaps add another set of fans on the top here. So right here, adding another set of fans would probably make this back a little better, because right now when my shirt is blocking the back, I only get the air from the front, not so much all the way onto the back top. So that would have been another design change, probably added 3 fans on there. And then as we talked about earlier, perhaps add a strap to the bottom so this stretches just a little bit. This has everything that I was looking for: a super easy ventilated system that works, helps me on my summer days, and it also delivered a little bit more than I was asking for. That automatic sensor I was not expecting to have on such a smaller scale product. This is not a huge product like the actual ventilated seat upgrade, and this has that. Also, you can manually set if you want this to be turned on, off, the fan speed, how much air you want blowing through. So you can do all of that. The noise is not terrible. They say it was about 50 decibels, I believe. I will double check that number, but it's not terrible. You can hear it. You can hear it, but it's almost like the Tesla's climate control that is turned on. You could hear that way. There is a high-pitched noise if you listen to it very, very closely, but it is not that bad at all. And if you lift your back just a little bit, you get that massive amount of air just going through here. They say it was a 30-degree slope design, so it kind of goes like this. It flows towards the top, and if I lift my back a little bit, I do feel that air. So I don't mind doing that. While I'm driving, I can lift up my back a little bit to get the air, lean back, and still have all that air flowing through. So an awesome design. Just some of those feedback for TL Yard to put some fans on the top and then put the strap in the bottom. If you want to check this product out, I have a special link in the description below where you can save a lot of money by using my code Shiva Tesla, and they are doing a special discount code just for us right now. Until they got about a week after posting this video, so they will activate that special discount code where you should be able to save a lot more money than you would normally be able to save on their website. So please do take advantage of that. TLER also has a lot of other products that we have reviewed in this channel, so do check them out. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comment section below, or reach out to me via other methods that are listed in the description. Thank you very much for your continued support. So many more products coming to the channel soon. I'll be back again.